Okay. Greetings, greetings. How
Greetings, everyone.
the RJ? Greetings to everyone. Thank you for joining us as we explore the healing of the Black mother womb. This is our topic for this evening. How are you doing, Sister RJ?
I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. It's my birthday month, so I am really striving to keep my vibration and my energy high because this is always a celebratory time for me. Just celebrating who I am and what I continue to aspire to rise
Mm-hmm.
to be and becoming. And just really stepping back and just seeing, am I living the life that I love?
Mm-hmm.
And if that is not, of course, if there's things that is associated with my life that I'm not really pleased about at this time, this is a very reflectionary time for me around my earth day and my solar return.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get real serious about this time, but I'm really celebratory as well. But I definitely want to make sure I'm utilizing the time that I have on this realm and I'm showing up to be who the great creator created me to be. And that's
Mm-hmm.
very important for me. It's very important for me. And it just gets very intense, more intense around my solar return.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm. So your
that's
birthday's in June.
June
You're
30th,
June
the very
Cancer.
last day.
I'm
The
a
very
July
last day.
Cancer. Ah, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is good to be reflective. Definitely. I'm glad that you mentioned that because I think often sisters may struggle with that reflection part of it. They might be more attuned to what is wrong or what they don't have or what I'm feeling bad about. But reflection is so powerful um, because if you can imagine yourself or even literally look in the mirror and say, okay, what part, like what part do I play in this? What can I change? What can I do? That's all part of what we're exploring as well, the reflection process of going into the healing of the Black mother womb. That's a reflection process. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, having said that, Sister Aj, how would you communicate to sisters that they start this process or make room for this process and even the importance of it? Why should sisters even consider it?
Well, to be honest with you, it really started my healing process is
Mm-hmm.
overstanding the wounds that my mother had.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that I'm currently working on with my sister is what kind of got me to the place where I could forgive the things that I saw my mother as, that I may have wished I had had another mother.
Mm-hmm.
It softened me and healed me and given me the spirit of forgiving is to understand her story, the
Mm-hmm.
wounds that she carries, because she was given up at 9 months. She didn't know who her real mother was until she was 23 years old. She
Mm-hmm.
had my sister and I at 16 and 17 years old, excuse me, on the streets of Brooklyn, New York in the 60s and 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And when I took myself there to try to feel what that felt like, her mother and father was getting a divorce. Her father was having some infidelity and he was going with another woman at the time that she had my sister and was pregnant with me. And so my grandmother had to find her way and the house was being foreclosed. And
Mm-hmm.
so I'm being transparent with that story because I had to give myself her story
Mm-hmm.
in order to have compassion for her, order to have sensitivity for her, order to have consideration that she really was a young girl herself
Yes.
when she had my sister and I. She wasn't a full woman. She didn't know how to really raise and rear girls. She
Mm-hmm.
did the best that she knew how,
Yes, she did the best
but
that she
there was
could.
so much that she did not have and so much that she was not equipped with. And
Mm-hmm.
so knowing that, it makes it very hard to be mad or angry or be judgmental about who she has not shown up to be as our mother.
Mm-hmm.
Because in reality, when you talk about soul ages, she was a young girl just like we were. We're all growing up
Right.
together, really.
Yes.
She was
Right.
never a mother, meaning in stature and maturity and age and
Mm-hmm.
emotional availability and emotional intelligence and all of the things we were looking for her to be that we needed, which has to be acknowledged as well. But we also have to acknowledge that she didn't have the capability to give us that
But she didn't get the things that she needed.
because she was
That's
wounded.
right.
She was
Right.
wounded. My
Right.
mother was wounded. She had not healed. And
Mm.
so now we're wounded because of her wounds. And so
Mm-hmm.
when you ask me what is a good approach to that, is when I'm coaching women that have Black mother wounds, we have to give our mothers grace
Yes.
because
Yeah.
they didn't have all the answers. A lot of them don't even have what we have now. As me being someone's mother, I was at a greater advantage when I had my children than my mother ever was when she had us.
Mm-hmm.
She was
Mm-hmm.
battling being with a addicted uh a man that was addicted to drugs. My
Yeah.
sister's father was addicted to heroin. He came back from the Vietnam War addicted to heroin.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was doing things to her that was creating wounds. I can't
Mm-hmm.
imagine being with a man and having children with someone that has an addiction and stealing things out of the house and selling them and meeting me at my job to get my check and you know, all of the things that addicts
Yeah.
do. I can't imagine being her age and having to endure that. I can't.
And a lot of women, a lot of our sisters had to endure it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
And
so my mother had never really even told us her story. I had to pull this information from her
mm,
because I told her, I need your story in order to heal my story,
mhm, mhm.
or I will repeat your story.
And so often that is what's happening. Sometimes sisters know the story, sometimes they don't. Um, as I got older and I learned about my mother's story and her sister's story and my grandmother's story, her mother, then I could see why certain things were the way that they were.
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
too also, it just seemed like it made, it was a natural progression, if I would say, for me. When I was in my 20s, I'd say about 23 is 24, everything appeared, we were talking about a little bit about this before we went live, but everything appeared like it was okay. But
Mhm.
felt like something was wrong inside. I didn't feel, and now, I was thinking about it today when I was in my garden.
Mhm.
A lot of what I was feeling now that I'm older and I could think back was was and because knowing that cancers are so emotional,
Right.
a lot of what I was feeling was my mother's wounds, my mother's
Yes.
depression. I didn't understand it then, but as I got older, when I became a
Right.
woman, I was able to recognize it. And
Mhm.
especially now, that she's passed on and I can reflect on, I'm like, oh, that's why she was like that. That's why she didn't
Yes.
um
Yes.
that's why she wasn't really very independent. That's why she depended on my father.
Yes.
I had to then also go to the cultural context of it because my family is from Barbados. Well, that stopped from the slaves,
Yes.
that's where they came from. And it wasn't until I didn't start going to the Barbados until I was 23. I thought, because I wanted to get to know my grandmother, I thought I had a different idea of what that would be like.
Mhm.
A lot of her beliefs and interactions came from a very wounded place. And then I was able to understand why my mother had difficulty every time she would receive a letter from her mother. She would like become stunned
Mhm.
and say, once I got old enough, say to me, well, I don't know what to write. I don't know. And I used to say, I'm like 13, 14, like, why is this so difficult for her?
Right.
When I started to go and get to know my grandmother, I said, oh, I see. And I see
Yes.
why my aunts behave the way that they do. I see why there's a lot of backstabbing and betrayal. Oh, my
Yep.
grandmother, if we have in our minds grandmother, oh, cooking food or whatever you might
Yes.
think about, she wasn't that.
Right.
And it gave me a better understanding even of why my mother had some of the ailments that she did.
Yes.
First, it was breast cancer, then Alzheimer's. She survived the breast cancer, or, you know, that didn't take her, but the Alzheimer's did. And I
Mhm.
remember when I first started noticing her symptoms, I was already, well into my own healing path and so to speak, analyzing what is the source of this. And I'm
Right.
like, well, I could see, this deep seated depression wanting to check out, wanting to be in
Yeah.
another reality. Sometimes we don't understand that these wounds, these things, and sometimes sisters know and can talk about them or are willing to talk about, or sometimes
Right.
they are the dark secrets that we keep. This was one of the days in my 7-day uh, moon messages. It one of the days, I don't remember exactly which day, but one of the day, the energy of the moon was, what is the truth that you are keeping from yourself?
Mhm.
Reflect on that. So even though I asked you the question, I also know that it's so important to recognize, one, the wounds, but two, there's a way, how would I say? you really talked about there's a way to release them if that's if 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 that's what you choose to do. In other words, you don't have to continue to be the victim in the chain of
Yes, yes.
the
And I
wounds.
wanted to heal. I think in every family, there's a healer.
I think so too.
And
I'm the one in mine, and you're the
this
one in
being,
yours.
yes, this being my assignment, I
Mm-hmm.
had to open up some really, really, really dark things
Mm-hmm.
about my family. And I'm the one also, as we're talking about healing the Black mother wound, I have also been assisting my mother in
Mm-hmm.
healing the wounds that she never got to heal, which has affected one of her daughters in one way, and it has affected one of her daughters in another way.
Right.
And she's trying to find out, well, why do you look at it this way and my other child holds it against me?
Mm-hmm.
Well, one of us is here to help you heal, and one of us is here to make you see yourself.
Ah, yeah. Mm.
Because if both of us was here to help you heal your wounds, you probably wouldn't be as honest and transparent to even allow us or have allowed me to know your story.
Right.
Because it wasn't easy finding out my mother's story. She's a Taurus, she's very stubborn, and she's very resistant. So
Mm-hmm.
she kept hold of so many secrets. I had to usher in her softening so she can tell me these things because she felt judged.
Yes.
And who wants to
Yes.
be judged by their own child? No parent wants to be judged, as
Yeah.
we're talking about healing the Black mother wound. No
Mm-hmm.
parent wants to be judged by their own child.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to do it in a way where she didn't feel judged because she already was harshly judging herself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, Mom, listen, you were 15 when you got pregnant, 16 when you had one child, pregnant again at 16 later in the 16, and had another child at 17. Who mothered you? Who
Mm-hmm.
mothered you? Your biological mother gave you to your dad and his wife, and then his wife had trauma. She was
Mm-hmm.
very loving. I love her soul, but she had trauma in her family because she was a very fair skinned woman and she had a lot of problems with colorism.
That's
So
another
she
deep
had
topic.
some
Mm-hmm.
other mother wounds, right?
Yeah.
And so she had impacted my mom with that. And so there's just so many layers, but I had to really reiterate my mother's story to her once I got it all, to blanket her, to comfort her with her story, to give so she could give herself grace
Yeah.
because she was being so hard on herself. And
Yeah.
I said, Mommy, there's no way that somebody could have done what you did. You need to reward yourself because you
Mm-hmm.
did an awesome job with your girls. You did the best that you could do with the circumstances that you faced.
Mm-hmm.
And her hearing that over and over and over, it began to heal those wounds within her that she had.
Mm-hmm.
Because now it is a reason why you were emotionally unattached to us or emotionally unavailable to us.
Mm-hmm.
Because you didn't have the emotional intelligence, no one gave you that.
Right.
Right.
Right. Right.
You were in survival mode for most of your life on the streets of New York City when things was very challenging then. Back in the
Yeah.
60s and 70s, things
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
as easy as it is being a mother these days.
Mm-hmm.
She
Mm-hmm.
didn't have the support from her or from the father's side, the mother's side, or the children's father's side. So
Mm-hmm.
she was very hard on us. She was very strict because she did not want us to be teenage moms.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I got to the point of that, of why she was so hard on us. And my sister she still just was like, oh my God, she just wouldn't let us do this and that and the third because she did not want us to be her.
Right. Right. So in a way, you see, that became an act of love, even though it didn't feel like it. That
Yes.
was her way of loving.
Of
I
loving us.
also grew up in
Mm-hmm.
a strict household, and I came to understand they wanted to protect me
Yes.
from the things that they knew could harm me. I didn't know.
Yes.
So
Yes.
um, when we when we allow ourselves to um, you said a couple of things, to not judge, to and also to, and I'm going to say, but it may be difficult for people to to do it at first, but move aside the shame,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
move aside the deep seated pain,
Mm-hmm. Or not
and
feeling worthy or not feeling
not feeling
valuable
worthy.
or, not feeling appreciated. And
Mm.
so you just, overcompensate. And
Overcompensate,
that is
or you
why my
suppress.
mom was a overcompensator. She went
Right.
above and beyond to have friends. She went above and beyond, when she met someone that was of a good character, which was my stepdad, and my sister, just thought that she was putting a man over us. And it wasn't that she was putting a man over us, but it was the first time in her life that she felt safe. It was the
Mhm,
first time in her life that she felt protected. It's the first time in her life that she felt provided for.
mhm,
And so
mm,
of course he's going to get accolades because she hadn't had anyone in her life of the masculine energy that had ever done that for her.
mhm, mhm,
So someone's doing this for me. Oh my God, I need to give them everything.
mhm,
Um,
mhm,
and so these are the things that I had to understand or overstand about my mother to allow me to love her unconditionally,
mhm, mhm,
which allowed me to see things in myself that I seen in her and me to correct them with my children.
mhm,
That is what the healing of the Black mother wound is about. You helping your mother heal the wounds or healing the wound that you have with your mother or about your mother, and then making sure you don't cause those same wounds.
mhm, mhm.
Because I didn't want my daughter to have the wounds that I had got from my mother, that she got from her mother, and she got from her mother, and she got from her mother.
Right, right. It just
At
was
some
passed
point, we
down.
got to do some healing here.
Absolutely. Yes, yes. And I think that when you said a couple of things, that there is always one family member that's the healer, that um and it reminds me that at first, when I accepted the calling of this journey, I don't really think I had much of a choice. It just seemed like it emerged. I wanted to try to fix everything, the whole family, but I didn't know how deep the um the wounds were.
Yeah.
I even think about my father. I, you know, we never had a full conversation about this. I think I can't exactly remember when he told me this. It could have been. It was either while my mother was still here but very sick, or when she passed. And just it seemed like out of the blue, he said, my mother used to beat me a lot. She was cruel. And I was so shocked by that. I don't think I had a response for that. But I do remember reflecting on it and saying, oh, that explains a lot. So I guess what I'm saying is that Black mother wound touches and comes through not only sisters, but comes through brothers too. And then they
Absolutely.
bring, like, so now as we come together and interact,
Mm-hmm.
on the surface, we feel like we're attracted to the eyes, the lips, the smile, the height. But what we're not recognizing until you um, go deeper and become, I don't want to use the word committed, but become aware that there is a healing path, a healing journey that you can go on. Then you realize I was really attracted to some of the, like, my pain was attracted, recognize that person's pain. That was the that was the energy underneath it. You know, they always say when two people meet, everything's like, oh, and then after they get to know each other, the real stuff comes out. But the real
Yes.
stuff was there all along. Like, now I learned about this as I was older and, further in my healing journey. So a lot of the times we now, well, that person did this to me, or this person did that to me, or, you know, we look at the person, but we need to go, I want to say, higher and deeper. What is the mirror? What's the uh you
Reflection.
also said it. The message.
Reflection.
What is it that you need to understand or let
Mm-hmm.
go or identify?
So you don't become the wound yourself.
So you don't
Because
be.
when you were talking about the masculine energy now,
Mm-hmm.
that's another deep conversation, is because they have mother wounds as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then they create wounds to the mother of their children.
Right.
If those wounds are
Yeah.
not healed within themselves with their mother, then when they get with a woman and they're the father to that mother, they create wounds that they got from their mother wounds.
That's right.
And so that's a whole nother conversation for the masculine energy with the black
Mm-hmm.
mother wound as well. Because now you have another woman out here who's a mother, and you've created wounds from her that she's going to need to heal because you didn't heal from your mother's wound.
Absolutely.
And a lot of black men have mother wounds, which is
Mm-hmm.
why they mistreat women,
Yes.
because the first woman in their lives mistreated them, or they didn't have that mother bond with their real mother. Someone else raised them, or their mom abused them, or what have you, or she was with men that abused them, and so forth
Right.
and so
Right.
on. And
Right.
so now they become the abuser, and now they're creating the wounds that they have.
Mm-hmm.
So there's many different levels to this mother wound, because we all have a mother, whether we're divine feminine or divine masculine, we have a mother. And because we're doing melanated soul talk, our mothers mostly are melanated.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So this is the healing that's needed in the community, because we cannot repeat generational trauma about our mothers, regarding our mothers, because the mother wound has to be healed no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
If the
Mm-hmm.
mother wound is not healed, we all suffer, because she is the mother, just like the earth is the mother. If we don't heal this earth and this planet and start doing a lot of things to conserve the planet and protect the planet, then the mother actually turns against us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She's the mother. She mothered all of us, but because she's getting disrespected, because she's getting dishonored, because she's not, highly revered, then she comes with a hurricane, a tsunami, and tear up stuff. And then people saying,
Right.
oh my God, our houses was swooped out to the ocean, or,
Mhm.
the hurricane happened and now we got to rebuild. Yeah, because we're not honoring the mother.
Mhm.
It's the mother wound is just so very deep. And
Mm,
that's why I love womb work. I love womb work because the womb is the beginning of it all. And if
mm,
we don't go back and heal the womb, which is even when we do vaginal steaming, we're not doing yoni steaming. We're healing generations of bloodlines. We're
mhm,
healing generations lineages because you don't understand how deep this thing is. You
mhm.
don't know your grandmother's wounds, your great grandmother's wounds, and your great 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 grandmother's wounds. We
I
got
would.
some deep, deep
We got
stuff
some deep.
in our
Yeah.
bloodlines and our lineages, and we're here. We have to heal it, or we will repeat.
Yeah. And that's what we see. That is what we see happening. We, behaviors and things within our community that we say, oh my goodness, why, what is wrong? Well, what is wrong is that deep healing needs to occur. And what's deep is uh the people that need the most healing may not even know that they need the healing. They just continue to live out, to act out the pain, the trauma. We call it other things. Even in families, I know the same grandmother, the same grandmother, she would say things like, oh, don't mind so and so. They don't have any sense. So like make it like, oh, you know, when what really is happening is that person is demonstrating the wound. So now you might have other family members that, oh, you know how they get, you know how they are, not taking it seriously, um,
Overshadowing the pain.
overshadowing the pain. And I think that when I think about my mother's generation and my grandmother's generation, even when you mention, and then when we go further back and further back, and I'm like, well, wait a minute, I'm barely, you know, barely able to say something about my grandmother. I don't know anything about my great grandmother and great great grandmother and great great
Right,
grandmother. What was it
right.
like for
But we know
them?
that they had wounds. We know that they had wounds.
Yeah, and I think about, we wouldn't even be able to have this type of conversation maybe 50 years ago, 100 years ago. We are in, sometimes people say we're in such a bad place, but we're actually in a place that, if you choose, if you choose
Mm-hmm.
to say, you know what, I do know that that things aren't right in my life, or I don't feel right, or however you want to phrase it. And
Mm-hmm.
I want to do something about it. I want to learn how to heal it. I believe that there's a possibility that the way I feel and the way I behave is different. There's so many modalities, so many ways that that can occur. And my mother didn't have that. Your mother didn't have that. Our grandparents, great great grandparents, they did the best
That
that
they
they
could.
do.
As well as we are being the mothers in
Hmm.
these days and times, we're doing the best that
Right.
we can do. So everybody has to give each other consideration and compassion and sensitivity, that we're not coming from a whole place. Let's understand that. We're not coming from a whole place. There's been a lot of trauma.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in order to heal that trauma, we have to acknowledge the
Mhm.
trauma. We have to get to the root of the trauma in order to make it light so we can have these type of conversations.
Mhm.
Otherwise, the reason why these conversations had not been had, and when you said we probably couldn't have this conversation 25 or 30 or 40 years ago, is because of the heavy trauma. Nobody was talking about it. Everybody
Absolutely.
was keeping their secrets. Everybody
Keeping
was
this.
hiding their wounds.
Mhm.
And now, one thing that I've learned in my healing process and journey is I have to be as transparent as possible because no one can hold a light of judgment up to me. No one.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh-uh.
Mhm.
I've let that go. I don't care what you think, what you feel, how you think it and feel it. It's no judgment because I've already went in and started reflecting on my own. And so
Mhm.
I don't have these little holes that you can go in and say, here, why you didn't say this and why you ain't tell the people that and why did I don't
Mhm.
have that. So I don't go around in camouflage
Mhm.
because this is what it is. And exposing things to the light is what brings healing.
Absolutely.
The
Yes.
wounds stay wounded when it's in darkness and shade and shame and embarrassment and regret and resentment. But when you acknowledge the truth and you say, "Hey, this is what has happened. This is what my mom went through. This is what I've been through." I'm so transparent with my children because it allows me to be light. It allows me to be light as their mother. I'm light.
Mhm.
They can bring anybody around and this is me. I'm not
Mhm.
hiding. I'm not, shielding myself. I'm not covering up. I'm not band-aiding. I'm real. And me being in reality with myself allows me to be in reality with other people.
Yes.
When
Mhm.
I'm holding secrets about myself, then people can make me hold secrets, their secrets.
Mhm.
I tell my
Mhm.
mom, if you don't want me to know something, don't tell me because don't not ask me. Don't say such and such. I don't like when people do that. Don't put me in your darkness and your secret and none of that. Just
Mhm.
don't tell me because I'm
Mhm.
going to tell it. That's the problem of why we got a lot of wounded mothers and daughters and women is because people want to keep things secret.
Yes.
Just heal and do better. Just heal and
Mhm.
do better. No one's perfect. No
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Yeah. And everyone has some type of wound.
That's
And
right.
realizing that, you know, ooh, should take away some of that shame or some of that. So,
Yeah,
having said that, Sister Aj, can you lead us in a meditation? Um,
absolutely.
and I'm going to get myself centered.
Situated.
Yeah.
Yes. And this is a very deep topic. I do want to allow people to know that we started off kind of light in our earlier series for Mother's Day, but we also have to understand there are going to be some deep conversations,
Hmm.
and they are needed and they are necessary for our healing. Otherwise, we're walking around with these wounds that have not been exposed to the light. And if they haven't been exposed to the light, they're never going to heal. It's
Absolutely.
always going to be tender. It's always going to be sore. It's always going to be, uncomfortable. But that's what healing is. And the because we've been running from it, it's what makes healing standoffish for people
Yes.
because it is heavy sometimes.
Hmm.
And so I just want everybody to just get themselves centered in a
Hmm.
nice sit down location, possibly. Um, I'm at a healing event right now, but I wasn't going to miss the call because this is something that I'm deeply committed to.
Hmm.
And even though I'm at a healing womb event, I came out because this is what we need. This is
Okay.
part of what the conversation is in the event that I'm in. Women are standing and sitting talking about their wounds.
Hmm.
30, 40, 50 years old and they're still talking about inner childhood wounds and things that they're still hurt from that's been done, long time ago, and they're still holding it. And so I just want everybody to get in a nice, comfortable position and then give yourself some grace while we're doing this meditation. Realize the wounds that you have, the wounds that have been caused by other people, possibly, and the wounds that your mother have as well. Your mother she's a human. She's a divine feminine just as well as you are. No one has a playbook. No one has a blueprint. There's no business plan to being a mother. I mean, you just can't find it. So we have to tap into our ancestors for guidance and deliverance and courage and inspiration and motivation to be the best mother, the best woman that we can be, because I believe all women are mothers. I'm not a person that if you didn't have a child out your womb, you're not a mother. I just don't believe that. I believe we all mother somebody. We
Mm-hmm.
mother ourselves a lot of times too. We have had to mother ourselves. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's why I say give yourself grace as we go through this meditation. But I just want you to close your eyes. And instead of putting your hand on your heart or putting your hand on your lap, I want you to wrap your hands around yourself and give yourself a hug while we do this meditation. Because hugs heal all wounds, mental wounds, emotional wounds, spiritual wounds, and physical wounds. The problem is we don't hug ourselves and hug each other enough, but hugging is healing. And so as you close your eyes and take a deep breath in from the soles of your feet and let it travel, let your breath travel, a deep inhalation from the soles of your feet to the top of your head. And just imagine what it would feel like to heal the wounds that you have, acknowledging the wounds that you have. Some of us have major wounds and some of us have small wounds. But again, we're not here to judge. We're not here to feel shameful. We're not here to feel any type of disharmony. We're here to fill ourselves up so we can heal. We're here to acknowledge and give ourselves grace of why we have not healed as of yet. Some of us are on different parts of our journeys of healing. Everybody is not in the same space or place of healing. And we acknowledge that. We're not where we were, we're not where we need to be, but we're right where we are. We're present. And so hug yourself as you breathe in. And whatever wound that you may have, we're just allowing the oxygen to fill in that wound, to heal that wound, to give that wound light, to give that wound love, to give that wound peace, to give that wound acceptance, to kiss our wounds, to love ourselves, even though we may be wounded or have been wounded. We still have to love ourselves. We can't just walk out in the world as wounded women. We have to give ourselves grace. We have to give ourselves love. We have to sometimes give ourselves protection. We have to provide nourishment for ourselves, even though we provide nourishment for others. We have to ensure that we are providing ourselves with what we need and not be so adamant about providing other people's needs, but making sure we are sustaining ourselves with our own needs. It's very important because all of us have needs, and it's not for other people to always know what your needs are. It's for you to know what you need, you to nourish yourself, you to love yourself, you to find joy within yourself, you to find peace. you to find liberation, you to find freedom, you to surrender to your soul, and just breathe in what those things feel like, the things that we look for in other people, the things that we feel like we need from other people, the things that if only someone would give me this, if only someone would give me that, or hug me, or love me, or care for me. But we first have to love and hug and care for ourselves. We have to bring ourselves back into divine alignment with our souls, because our souls need healing, our souls need nourishment, our soul needs fulfillment. And just exhale out whatever it is that's keeping that wound open, whatever is keeping that wound where it has pain or tenderness or shame or embarrassment. Just breathe that out in your exhale. Just let that go, release that from your being. Because if you don't judge yourself, no one else can judge you. But sometimes when we judge ourselves harshly, we feel like we're being judged. Okay. And so we're just in a space now where we're just encouraging healing. We're encouraging love. We're encouraging peace. We're encouraging all of the things that is needed and necessary for us to prosper and vibrate higher. And we're just breathing that in. We're just breathing that in. We're holding that. What does that feel like? What does that taste like? We just need to be able to accept that within ourselves, so when we don't get it from someone, we don't become needy of it. We have it. We're satisfied. When we're out here and we're whole and we're happy and we're harmonious and we're beautiful and we're flowing and we're loving and we're illuminating and we show up as the light that spirit has created us all as women, as mothers of this realm. And we embrace that as we hug ourselves deeply. Give yourself a deep hug as you inhale in a deep breath, releasing anything that you are ready to heal, any of your open wounds. And then we also want to breathe in healing for our mother wounds, because our mother has wounds as well. And she may have never been able to heal those wounds. And so we have to hold space for her. We have to have understanding for her. We have to have compassion for her. We have to have grace for her. Because having that for her means that we can give it to ourselves. And we're just breathing in. We're breathing in all the things that can heal. We're taking the band-aids off. We don't want to hide. We want to apply the ointment that we need, whatever that is. Everyone should know how to heal themselves, how to heal their wounds. And we're continuing to breathe. If you are a beginner in the meditation, you can breathe in 4 seconds from the soles of your feet. Hold it at the top of your crown. And then exhale out of the mouth. And just continue that beautiful rhythmic healing breath. As you're loving and hugging yourself. As you're loving and hugging your mother, imagine you loving and hugging your mother for all of the wounds that still have been open for her, and for the mothers who have transitioned still being wounded. We hug ourselves and love ourselves for those women as well, because we have to know when we heal ourselves, we heal the women around us. We heal the women that's connected to us. We heal the women that we birth. We heal the women that we teach. We heal the women that we talk to every day. We heal. That's what we do. That's who we are. That's what we were created for. So continue to heal and breathe and heal and breathe. Give yourself all of the things that you need. And as you close out your breath, as you acknowledge your pain, you acknowledge your wounds and the wounds of your mother. If you know the wounds of your grandmother, you're just hugging yourself for all of those wounds. And hopefully you're smiling in your heart. You're smiling in your soul. You're smiling in your mind. You're smiling in your spirit because we've been holding this back from ourselves. And now we're giving ourselves permission. You're giving yourself permission to love and heal yourself again and heal your wounds and your mother's wounds and any other woman that you were close to or that you know of that may have some wounds. We're loving and hugging ourselves for them as well. Because as we build community and heal community, we have to hold space for our community and the traumas that we have been waged against us. We have to hold space for our community has wounds. When you see a woman out in the street and she's not showing up in her highest vibration, 9 times out of 10, she's wounded. She's hurt. She's in pain. She's been disrespected. She's been dishonored. And we need to identify with that because we too have been in her space. We too. I know we want to judge and make it a spectacle of how people are acting, but we know that people act in ill ways when they're not healed, when they're hurt, when they're wounded. And so we have to start giving ourselves and our people grace for all of the pain that we've endured, all of the things that we've been through that have traumatized us, that has left lasting impressions on our minds and our hearts and our bodies and our souls that we need to heal. Healing is feeling. We must feel the wound. We must acknowledge the wound in order to allow it to heal and have light and move forward and elevate higher and evolve. So as you slowly take your last deep inhalations, hugging and loving yourself, giving yourself grace, smiling in your heart and your mind and your body, your spirit and your soul, and just gently exhale out and see the wounds healing, see the wounds closing up, see the cuts mending, see the repairs happening, see the love growing. See it, feel it, embrace it, touch it, smell it, taste it, and just continue to breathe while you're smiling and you're hugging. And as you squeeze yourself for the very last time of this meditation, I just want you to say, I love you. I honor you. I cherish you. You're speaking to yourself. I love you. I honor you. I cherish you. I respect you. I adore you. As you close out your meditation and as you close out the breath, just close out with love. Love for ourselves and love for each other, love for our mothers, love for our grandmothers, love for any woman who has played a major part in your life, love for women who have maybe hurt you, harmed you, dishonored you in any way, devalued you in any way. Send some loving vibration out for those women as well, acknowledging that they need their wounds to heal as well, so they can show up in light, as light, and within the light. As you take in your last deep breath and hold at the crown, gently unwrap yourself from hugging yourself and put your hand on your heart. And gently open your eyes. Ashe, Ashe,
Ashe.
Ashe. We give
Ashe.
thanks. We give thanks for healing. We give thanks for coming together as sisters. We
Mm-hmm.
give thanks for coming together in a circle
Mm-hmm.
that we
Thank
can
you.
even afford ourselves to give ourselves healing right now, because it's very special when you can afford yourself the power to heal. It's very special. And we're grateful and we're thankful and appreciative of everybody who joined the call. For people who are listening to the recording, this is our time, and our time is now. Ashe.
Yes. Ashe. Absolutely. Our time is now. Most definitely. Thank you, Sister Ajay. We thank you, everyone who has joined us. If you want to contact us, you can contact Sister Ajay or myself for our services. You'll see a poster, a flyer with a QR code at the end. You can scan that and get in contact with us. You have to excuse me. I'm still in meditation a little bit. I feel just very relaxed. But if you want to contact us, if you want to contact Sister Ajay about her womb healing work and other healing modalities that she does, if you want to contact me about, if you want an oracle reading, if you want a one-on-one session to learn strategies that you can work on in your own healing, you'll see our flyer and the QR code. And thank you so much for joining. And we will see you
Give
in
thanks.
our next discussion and meditation. Thank you.
Ashe. Give thanks, Sister
Ashe.
Amy.
Ashe.
Too late to conversate, to put a smile upon thy face. It's not too late to recognize we're all one people, we're all one mind. Yeah, we need to stop all the violence and all the separation. Spread love and peace all across the nation. 'Cause we got to live together, yeah. And we won't survive if we don't help each other. We don't need no more hate through generations. We need to practice more unification. So why can't we make it right for life, so we can all survive? And if we could all just learn to love one another, no one else would suffer. We're all in it together. No matter who's against us, no matter who's for us, our voices would be louder. No one could ignore us. The world would be different, and more would be gifted, not where they drifted. There's so many missed it, with so many stuck in their ways, living out their days with really no peace. We can make it so much better now.